Hey, hey, hello. Hey, Instagram. How is everybody, man? How is everybody? Instagram. Woohoo, social media. Good times, huh? Good times. So here I am again. You can probably guess when I go live, I don't really do much talking on my Instagram lives. I'm doing the interviews, and yeah, it's cool. Today, got a very cool interview for you guys. Extremely cool. I try and bring you people that I connect with, that I think are powerful, that have got good information. That's pretty much everybody, my entire network of followers and all that jazz. So yeah, that's pretty powerful. So today we're going to be joined by Whitney. I can see she's here, and I hope other people will join us too. If not, we'll just roll and have a good time and get to know her a little better and share stories and what woke her up and all the beautiful things. And yeah, it's just connections, man. I think connections are really important, and getting spreading awareness and bonding with each other is really powerful, man. And learning from each other is a powerful healing modality for all of us. So yeah, with that being said, Whitney, I would invite you in. I just wanted to do that intro super quick. All right, here we go. Let's see if this works. Request to you, Whitney. Hopefully you'll accept, and it'll be okay, and we'll have a nice internet connection so we can do this properly.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me
Hey,
okay?
yeah, I can, Whitney. Thanks for joining me, man.
Awesome. Of
Thanks for
course. Thanks
joining
for
us.
having me. Thanks for
Hey,
having me.
no, it's an honor. Thank you. So I want to tell people, like, first of all, so I noticed you a few months ago come up my Facebook, and I thought, who is this girl? Because you seemed really cool, fun, and then you started just sharing and what your stories was, what you were discovering and supporting people. And I thought, this is a really cool girl. So I really wanted to get to know you better. And I find myself in that position now. And I think it's your first interview. I don't know if that's true. Like, it's your first interview.
Yes, yes, it is.
Cool. So this is extra special then. I feel honored to be your first host. So yeah, this is going to be exciting. So okay, let's start, Whitney. I don't know how to do these.
Yes.
Sometimes I get not flustered. It's so hard, isn't it, in a 1 hour time limited conversation? So I guess where did it all begin? Like, where's the beginning? I mean, where's the beginning for you? Beginning of your
Well,
journey.
that's a great question. I think it all started when I was kind of actually I grew and became woke in a sense through emotional darkness. And I think it began about 6 years ago when I was in college. And I had just become I mean, I was smoking weed a lot, drinking, partying, and just doing the like average matrix thing at the age that I was at. And I had reached a breaking point. I mean, I remember sitting in my apartment at that time, just asking for help, like for a higher consciousness to help me. So I think it started then. And I didn't know what I was calling out to when I was asking to receive this kind of help, but it was desperate and I needed light in my life. And I think it began then. I left school. I moved back to my comfort zone in order to kind of come back to the drawing board and repaint my life. I wanted control because at that time I felt like I had no control of my life, even my everyday. I mean, I was just walking in emotion that made no sense to me. And so
Mm,
I came and I started researching deeper things and I kind of connected to not, I don't want to say death, but I kind of connected through things I didn't understand in life after life in a way. And so I
mm,
started researching a lot about astrology or a lot with like guides. And I started to read really high vibrational books. And so
mm,
I just flew, like, a lot of knowledge. I just gained a lot of knowledge. But at that time, I still wasn't really applying this to my life.
mm,
And I decided to move out to LA. And so I was still living in this daily matrix and getting all the stuff that I wanted, that I thought I wanted. I went out there, I got the job I needed, I was making the money that I thought I wanted. And I was like, wow, I built this life again. And here I am, not happy and super depressed. And then this pandemic and all this stuff hit. And I
mm,
was like, no, this is it. Like I met another breaking point in my life. So back to, I moved out of the city. I had to get away
mm,
from all of that. And I started really diving deep into healing because
mm,
I don't think I ever really knew what healing was until this summer. And I believe it all started mostly with what I was consuming, my diet. I started eating more of a high vibrational foods and fruits and veggies, and I let go
mm,
of animal products and I just started to thrive. I was
mm,
happy constantly. I would wake up feeling just great. And It
Mm.
introduced me to other high vibrational beings, and it was, I just, sometimes it's hard for me to get words because it was just all so exciting and overwhelming, but it
Mm.
definitely kind of put me in turbo with growth, and I started facing myself, and I think it began there. Like, I just, it kind of just keeps going up, keeps going up.
That's amazing, Winnie. By the way, how old are you, for the audience? I don't even know myself. You seem quite young, but I don't want to guess. Go for it.
No, you're fine. I'm 27.
Okay, 27. So wow. So out of college, yeah, you've been through the tough stuff. You've been through depression, not knowing where you're going, the lost room. And you said about astrology and spirit guides and all that stuff. That's really powerful and getting into it. But then I like what you said too, quite honest. Like you said that like you're reading it, because I know a lot of people read self-improvement books and they don't actually apply the knowledge. And it's kind of stupid in a way to like read stuff if you're not going to apply the knowledge from these things. But then you realize that wasn't helping. So the diet change was huge. That transition from high density foods that weigh us down and literally lower vibration to lighter fruits and vegetables. How did you get into that stuff? Did you see someone on Facebook, or was it just some one of your real life or a
Yeah,
YouTube video?
it was actually through I have a friend of mine who I would always pay attention to things that he would share because I felt like he was on a very high vibration, and I wasn't really connecting to, I didn't know anyone else who was living that kind of lifestyle, and he just was like introduced me to this community that I just dived right into, and they opened, like, just welcomed me with open arms, and I just saw ways to live that I could never even picture, to like, I never thought was even an option. So it was a mutual friend who was already doing this, and then I started seeing like sustainable living, just living on your own, and these people who were completely transforming their life from what they were putting inside. So I was like, oh crap, like I'm over here trying to like change the outside of my life when it was all starting with what I was putting in. And so I started putting in these high vibrations food, and my life changed completely. Like, I mean, everything, negativity started to fall away. People that weren't serving me started to fall away. It just, it was, life changing completely.
And that's weird because that's going on during COVID when it's happened to so many people. So you're another one that's confirmation that during the worst of times collectively for us, you had a matter of spiritual awakening or emotion, whatever you want to change during the COVID at the height of the season.
Yeah, I know. Everyone was over, like, a lot of people were in a time of just the world was falling apart and mine was falling apart, but also rebuilding at the same time. So I was tapping
Hmm.
into all the beauty that was happening and kind of ignoring all of this collapse that was also going on at the time.
Right, that's insane, man. So yeah, so did you find transitioning for amount of products and all that stuff to fruits and vegetables primarily? Did
Mm.
you find that hard, or are you still in that process right now, or were you one of these people? Because some people find it hard, some people just go for it and seem to do it really quickly. And so I was wondering whether you took it slow or went quick with it.
Oh, oh, okay. I definitely kind of took it slow because I
Hmm.
have a lot of traumas that connect to food. Like, I would always find myself eating to keep things down, to not feel things. So it was it was a difficult transition, and I mean, I slipped up a few times, but I understood that that was meant to be, and I just came back stronger. But I also, when I did, I guess, slip up and go against what I wanted to do, I felt like crap. I saw it. I said, oh my goodness. So, like, my awareness level, I was like, whoa, like, this can't happen anymore. So I think after exposing my being to such a change that was just so uplifting, and then to go back to bad habits was just, it really showed me, like, whoa, like, the growth that I was experiencing was real, and that I these old habits are not serving me, and they're not going to serve me in the future if I want to keep on this healing process and grow.
I like that. It's like for me, I'm always two steps forward, one step back. I always take a step back. But then I learn the best when I don't rush the process and I really make a mistake and then I just keep repeating the mistake until I stop learning. Because I'm a slow learner, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't lie to people. I'm really slow. So yeah, I totally relate to that. Like some people find it easy though. I've heard stories of people going, okay, I went from vegan, like within raw vegan straight away, and it was easy. And so fair play if you do it. Well done to you. But it's not for everybody. Yeah, I tend to go slow. So yeah, that's really cool, man. So like, okay, so let's talk a little bit about astrology and spirit guides because that's not my area of expertise at all. But I'm curious to know like what kind of stuff you was reading about and how you got into that stuff and what does it mean for your life and for our lives, astrology, spirit guides, and all this stuff.
Hmm. I think when I started to dive into my spirituality, astrology is really what that's the practice I kind of dove into because I was living a life where I was in communications with a lot of different people. And I was like, wow, if I started to realize reading all this stuff and started understanding myself deeper, like from my body, my mind, my emotions, my life journey. And I was like, okay, well, this seems real. So let's keep applying it. So let's go study. So I would kind of take individual people and I would ask them questions about like the sun, the moon, and all these signs, and to see if it was real. So I was doing studies and I was like, okay, this is kind of real. And it started helping me have deeper connections with my friends. I mean, deeper connections with intimacy and how I guess, express love and how others might do the same. It also, astrology really shined light on my family and the connection I had there, and even my bloodline, and even a little bit of what could be in my future when I have my own family. So it was just a very complex thing that I was like, whoa, this is, I mean, people know a little bit about it, but I kind of dove right into it, and it just kept the magic in my mind real and the connections. And I started understanding that astrology was connected to everything. I mean, it's connected to nature, to plants, to animals, to colors, and to palmistry. So I think that really inspired me. And then with spirit guides, I think that came about a lot with numerology when I started understanding that every moment and every second was very specific, and I wanted to take advantage of all of that. So time, I mean, it's not exactly real, but it was a great way for me to be in communication with them through numbers. And so I kind of expressed that, okay, I found like a site that I really believed in online. And I said, these are the messages like I'm receiving, and I want them to be translated like this. So I explained that I just kind of was like, this is how I'm going to translate them. So if you want to talk to me, send me these ones, and it means this to me. And it started growing, and it went from numbers on the clock to also lyrics and songs. And so I started hearing verbal words connecting to them. And I just think it's such a real thing, because I'm a full believer that we did not carnate on this planet to live this life alone. And I think that there's tons of energies around us. And I think it's just a little like kind of ignorant to not think that they are not trying to communicate with us. And so I kind of dove into that. And it also took me down the road of tarot reading, because I was like, well, let's do this. Let's start flipping cards and see if I can connect to them through that, and messages that I'm maybe not seeing, or I'm missing, or I need a perspective change. And then it started diving into my dreams this summer a lot. Like, it started becoming more physical. I started to hear, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I started to hear more of like voices before I'd fall asleep, or I started to feel physical touch. And it was just, I think it all just starts there, and it keeps growing. It's just constantly growing. And I encourage everyone to just try and connect with energies that are beyond us, because it is exciting. It gives life so much meaning.
Yeah, I agree. And do you know, I'm thinking from my basic brain, I'm thinking like astrology and spirit guides allow you to open up to the possibility. If you were atheist and you think that a lot of people do still think that life is meaningless, they get caught in the trap of religion, first of all, or they get caught in the trap of atheism and evolution from school, because they teach evolution in school, don't they? They don't teach the holes in it. So that this kind of things that you're studying, that I think I need to get studying into more, I've got a basic knowledge of, it definitely helps you get into that aspect of like divinity, and like everyone has a purpose here, because I'm with you, and I'm sure many people watching do. We have a purpose here, we have a destiny to fulfill, and what time we were born and where we was born, and all the connections, the synchronicities are examples of divinity, access, and astrology. And these are huge topics, and they're great to think about, because they'll help you on your journey, and they'll explain, not they make an excuse for you not to take action and stuff, but because I know there's some people that believe that too, but they do help you explain why our weaknesses in personality, things that we need to work on, our triggers and our shadow work. So for that reason, I'm completely amazing. By the way, can I ask you what books and what sources did you use to get into them in the beginning? Because I'm a newbie at that stuff too. Like, where did you go for your beginning into astrology? Did you go on Amazon and buy books, or did you go on YouTube?
Okay, I think a lot of it, I kind of went everywhere. I'm a major researcher. I want to have like videos, articles, like I needed everything. So a lot of it was online. I would start simple. I would start saying like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And I would read, I think, 20 articles a day on one topic, just to like really get a broad like perspective, because I know there's probably just different types of answers. So I would do that. I bought a few astrology books after I understood it more, and that's why I think a lot of it was reading, but I also watched some videos too. But I'm a big reader, so a lot of it was books that I would find online, or a lot of it was reading books.
That's amazing. People don't read enough books, in my opinion. Even me, I'm so behind with that, because it really does help with the concentration. And we live in a society where we're so distracted with Facebook and Instagram, and I recognize it's amazing, but it's got weaknesses. So books, and like actually forcing yourself to read is absolutely amazing. That's a good one. So let's move on a little bit. So by the way, when you say spirit guides, that's an interesting one, because how would you get into that one? Like, I'm thinking, I know. The only idea I've got of spirit guides is that I'm aware that we are all got little things that frequency beings that like control us, not control us. They move our destiny towards a higher path. Is that what you mean when you say spirit guides? The things that are guiding us towards, like,
Yes, like yes, I believe that they. I mean, I could. Some parts of me believe that we are born with stuff that's like spirit guides who stay with us and kind of
mm,
help us grow, or might influence our path in a way for what is best for us, or maybe things that we're not seeing. So I think that is a lot of it, a lot of pushes. And I also believe that energies coming in and out of our lives at different times, depending on what we need.
mm,
And so that's where like I really believe is like that. And it's just I find that they kind of like there's just like I also believe that spirit guides can be energies that we might have connections to beyond what we can remember. So it could be
past
familiar
lives,
people. Yes,
past lives.
yeah, like yeah,
Mm,
like I could believe, yeah, I believe that it could be people that we already loved that we know about, or these could just be
mm,
masters or teachers who are trying to push us and help us reach the destiny that we want, or to help us
mm.
grow in ways. That's so I think it's a lot of guidance, or maybe triggering things to make us like it's like I snap like, oh, look over here, and it's like that kind of thing. It's like you're missing this, pay attention to this. So I think it's
Yeah.
kind of like they keep us on track to what
Mm.
our end goal could possibly be.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was literally went shopping with my dad today, and I said to him, but I wasn't joking. I was serious. Like, when you die, if you die before me, then you're probably going to be a spirit guide for me because you're going to realize that I was a light worker all along, and you realized all the bad things. And I wasn't saying for an ego. I was literally just saying as like a objective because I know that's what's going to happen. He's going to get a life review of all the things he's done wrong, and he's going to hopefully have the opportunity to come back and to be a spirit guide for me and be my biggest fan, because your biggest enemies in this life, I believe, will realize the errors of their ways when they die, and they will become your biggest fans. I don't know if that's me projecting, Whitney, but that's how I like to play it. That's how I like to think
Yep.
it to
No,
get through.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that completely. Yeah, because I believe after death you kind of realize everything, and it's yeah, I believe that fully.
Yeah,
That's
man.
great.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, so you want to talk a little bit about? Can you talk a little bit about mushrooms? So I think mushrooms have the psychedelics and all psychedelics generally have had a little bit of an impact too on your journey, and they're an amazing topic. I love it. So
Yes, I think when I first experienced that was a few years ago because I had read all this positive things about him and how there's growth from it and the connections that it can make in your mind. I said, okay, let's do it. I want to experience this. And so my first one was I felt as if I was connected to everything, that I could talk to whoever I wanted to talk to. I could do whatever I wanted to do. And it was a pure happiness. I could see colors and light spectrums and shapes and things that I didn't think that I was just making up in my mind. I think I was just actually seeing what was there. And then so
right,
in time, I kept doing that because to me, going on that psychedelic trip was almost like a school field trip, and I would come home with a goodie bag, and so I would always gain something from like a goodie bag of knowledge. So I would come back from these
but
trips and be like, whoa, like that didn't take from my life because here I am, and it's something that's stuck, and it's a great thing because I would just come back with knowledge that would just it would stick. And I was like, okay, this is something. And me and my friend would always make jokes about this shroom vision that you would get. And now I'm at a point where I feel like it has doing psychedelics has repaired and also
mm,
maybe stripped some manipulation and control that I've experienced on this planet. And so
mm,
now I get this natural shroom vision where it's like just it comes when I'm not doing it. And it's almost like
mm,
I am connecting or tapping into something because every time I did it, I feel like I was tapping
mm,
into energies, and it was just
right,
the most memorable experience, and it made everything that I had believed seem
yeah,
real, and it kept my connection to magic
yeah.
very strong, and it just kind of was like reassuring that yes, like everything I believed in was real, and here it is, and this is what life can be like after death. And I felt like the illusions
Yeah.
were gone and there was nothing, like the veil was lifted
Yeah.
completely.
That's powerful. What you said there as well. Did you say something like afterwards it gives you that connect? So you have those peak experiences, and then during normal hours you sometimes can tap into that much easier. Do you say something like that? That's
Yes,
interesting.
like yeah, like I
Hmm.
find myself like having moments where I'm like, whoa, like I feel like I'm kind of tripping right now, but I'm not. I'm not tripping at all. So I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? So that's how I know that there has to
Yep.
be some kind of healing going on if I'm
Yeah.
walking away from those experiences, still able to hold on to that. And
Yeah.
be a better person in a way.
I think there's something to
Lighter.
it. I mean, magic mushrooms, there's neuroplasticity. And I'll tell you what, I did a hero dose in December a few weeks ago, and my personality is permanently shifted for the better. I mean, people may not notice it unless they've been around me 24/7, but I notice it. Like, I talk differently now. I've got this little, I don't know, this cool mannerisms. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Oh, it's the psychedelics. I just took too much. I'm like upgrading myself, which is good. So yeah, it is completely powerful and magical. I think that's the key to this. One of the ways the matrix, like if they dare to do this, especially light workers, we need to do it, but the matrix lot can really break free from the programming, possibly with psychedelics. I think that's a great, even microdosing. Maybe do you recommend microdosing, or do you recommend more than that?
I've done both. I've done both, but I feel as if it is more productive to maybe microdose to slowly work your way into it, because I'm a believer that after doing it so many times that that need to want to even do that will be gone, because I just think it is that healing. So
Yeah,
I would definitely suggest the microdosing. I mean, because I always
yeah.
think like if someone is depressed or experiencing some kind
Mm.
of unease in their life, I would go right to mushrooms. I
Right.
would dive
Yeah,
deep into that
yeah,
feeling and face it head on and just move forward, because that feeling
yeah.
afterwards is just, it is something
Amazing.
like, yes,
It's
amazing.
amazing. I wonder, like, the one of the things I wonder is, like, when I was going through the worst of my life, I wonder if
Mm.
I did psychedelic, if I knew about psychedelics then, and if I did it, what it would have done to me. Because I also think, Whitney, like, if you lie to yourself, because I was lying to myself at the time, I'm sure you can relate to many other people, you don't grow if you lie to yourself, and I was lying for a long time. So if I did the psychedelics and I was lying to myself, would I have got any benefit out of it? I don't even know the answer to that. Or would I have just carried on delusionally, with like thinking it was a trip and not get any value from it? So I wonder, would it benefited me, or does it benefit people at later stages, or can anyone? I don't even know. Like, can
No,
anyone do?
that, no, like what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because when I was first starting to use mushrooms, I was not like, for instance, my diet was still crap. Like I was not at the healthy point that I was. And so I think I was tapping into it and like kind of like moving the curtain a little bit and seeing just like, whoa, this is a little crazy. Okay, I'm about it. And then I changed my diet over the summer,
Hmm.
and the uncomfortableness that I felt when I would first transition into this like mushroom trip had gone away. Like I would go right into it after
Hmm.
I changed my diet, and it was just complete healing after that. So like I would think that if you were hiding from yourself, that it's
Yeah,
harder and it's probably very uncomfortable, and that's where
and I
bad trips
mean,
come from.
spiritual bypassing, we know that's in the thing in the community too. So, and I know people that in our communities that I love very much and try not to judge, but if they spiritually bypass, I've also seen that they have bad trips, and they
Mm-hmm.
always have bad trips. So that's what I was referring to, like spiritual bypasses, and they do
Yep.
exist. Hmm.
Yes. Yes, I agree completely. Yeah. Yeah. Just hiding from yourself. Because the more in tune I came with myself, it was easier. I felt there was not much of a transition, that I was just taking who I was onto a higher level. And it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, is it just magic mushrooms you experienced, or is because there's a few others? I don't know if you've experienced any more.
Yep.
They're just magic. Okay.
Just so far, just magic mushrooms, but there are things that like other things that I definitely want to dive into with this, because of other people and their experiences and like what it can do to the body and the mind. I was just like, yeah, like I have to try that. Like I have to keep going. I can't stop.
Yeah. I love your energy, by the way. It's really
Thank
cool. I'm
you.
really up on it. What I was going to
Thank
say is
you.
like, oh, you touched on your story about weed. I'd love to know your opinions on that. And did you say something like you was addicted to it at the beginning or
Like,
something?
it was kind of like the feeling I because when I first started to get into that, I was kind of suppressing things. I would smoke and be like, whoa, like I'm not feeling bad no more, this is great. And so I would just not avoid, I would avoid. And so
Hmm.
I started to use it less of a tool, because I think that it's a magical thing and there's purpose in it and everything, but I was using it as a crutch, and so I wasn't
Yeah.
getting its full benefits. And so like I was tapping into something magical, but then it was not, like I was doing it too much because I was addicted to this behavior. And so my appreciation went down. And I believe that like
Right.
you could
Yeah.
probably drink and smoke yourself to the grave versus psychedelic. So I try, like, yeah, I had to cut back on that and
Hmm.
eliminate a lot of it, just so I could actually grow and not avoid how I was feeling. And I believe in using it in maybe meditative forms and stuff, but at the same time, I don't think it's needed really completely.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like if you do it all the time, you're going to lose your edge, because we live in duality, and you're going to lose your drive, like for all the things that we're passionate about now. Is spreading knowledge will just disappear, because if you're so chill 24/7, that is a huge problem. Because how are we supposed to spread the knowledge if you're just chill? Like, I mean, chill is cool, man. I mean, it's great, but Jesus, we got shit to do in this life that's not all chill. There's some left brain stuff that we got to do. Like, so yeah.
Yes. Yes, took the
Mm.
motivation away. Yeah, definitely took the motivation away. The mindset was still there, but it was just like, no, it's okay. Just, yeah, very relaxed when you can't be relaxed like that all the time. It doesn't, not a lot of
Right.
productivity.
Yeah, I've got a weird story with because I never used to like. I thought it was really bad for me until last year, and because of programming actually. And then I tried it, and now I realize it's actually magic medicine. And like I was so anti it for the longest time, and it's sacred. But I also know friends like yourself and people too that have damaged themselves, literally damaged themselves, their brains from weed, and also they lost motivation. So it's a double-edged sword. It's really powerful. And I'm actually pleased, if I'm being honest, that youngsters do it when they're young, a lot of the rebels, because those rebels that do it when they're young often turn out to be the light workers of the future. The ones that don't do the weed when they're young don't tend to be. So it's kind of cool that people that do weed, but of course, yeah, like you said, it could go too far down the path. It wakes you up though. It wakes you up. It wakes people up, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a few friends who have like had like an awakening from that process. So like, yeah, I believe that it's power. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people who have smoked have had this awakening, and I also believe that weed can kind of open your mind and also kind of fuel your creativity a little bit. And so it kind of people that are experiencing that kind of keep growing and are introduced to something. And you're like, okay, and so they kind of dive into more topics or more things that go that way. Or yeah, like a lot of damaged people seem to grow to be like the best light workers. I mean, brightest people.
It's true. I feel the opinion now that you should go for periods on it and then take time off it. Like do a cycle. Like, and I do think it's powerful medicine. You should use it for creativity, but just definitely take that period off. Don't get addicted to it, because like, yeah, it's not good to be addicted to anything, man. Even the mushrooms and all that shit. Like, so yeah, it's powerful. Anyway, I want to ask you another question. Do you work? You work for Superfoods Company, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think this took my life to the next level completely. I mean, from the superfoods that I wasn't taking from this company really changed my life and elevated me. And then also the community that surrounded that introduced me to souls that were doing things that I could kind of see in my mind, but I was never. And I was like, whoa, like I felt that I had been alone a lot in my spirituality, but this company and these superfoods had introduced me to people where I was like, okay, I'm not alone. There is other people in the world who are thinking like this. And I started connecting. So for me to connect like that, I was a full believer that a lot of my heart chakra was probably not completely working for me to be alone and feel alone. So I think it just kind of turned my vessel on to connect deeper with people. I mean, and that really, I think I made a choice in life to go, that was like a choice. That was a very like roadblock, and I had went away that I was just like, yes, this is me, this is it. And I dove right into it. And I just kind of want to share it with everyone, because it's just, I don't want anyone to feel alone or how I was feeling when there's just no need. And there's tons of people who are like-minded and who have the same goals and just want a happy earth and all of that. And so it's just, a lot of it is the foods, the community, and the energy that it gives off, and the like what their end goal is as a company in general.
Yeah, what was it? Purium, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
And by the way, I agree with you, by the way, because obviously I know you kind of through that, and I admire all the Purium people. They're some of my best friends, and they always will be. Literally, Soul Tribe members. Literally, there's groups of people. I like urine therapy. I like all groups of people in the community. I try to get better at not judging people unconditionally. But one of my favorites, if I'm being honest, is the Purium lot, because everyone is high vibration, and it's definitely to do with the foods. And it's not just that. It's just like you align with companies that are quality, and it's just quality people align with that company, and that's why pretty much everyone who works at that company is like a good friend of mine. I can't help it, man. All of you guys are so cool. Like, I have to interview you. I have to hang out with you guys. I have to go to Belize and visit you guys. I just like have to, man. It's powerful.
I know the people that, I like the way you said that. It is a quality company that has just attracted quality people who are just on the journey of healing and are just facing it head on. And it's so fun to watch them transform. And because you're like, if they're doing it, I can do it. It's just, it makes life more relatable, and it gives meaning, and it's a magical thing to be a part of. And
it really is. It really is. And there's levels. I love that there's people higher up that really have more influence, and we can learn from them, and you can learn how to do a business too. And it's because it's great to give health for free, but the business aspect of it involves a lot of self-growth. I've seen people like, I don't even know Alison Jade. Oh, you probably do. Yeah. Well, I've known her when she was just, I wouldn't say starting out on a journey, but she's a different person now to what I knew her like 2 years ago. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I'm shocked to how powerful that lady's become. Like, if you can see her 2 years ago, she's always been growing, don't get me wrong, for many years now, but the transformation through that company, she'll say this, it's literally the company and the way that she's gone about it and promoting it and doing the superfoods and just the self-improvement aspect of it It's phenomenal. Like if you
Mhm.
stick with a program, really do it. And listen, it's hard because it's slow, but if you stick with it, it gives you so much growth. And I'm so happy that you are involved in that community, man. I really am.
Oh my gosh. Yes, definitely. Yeah, like to be a part of that, I think you have to just kind of surrender and say, yep, I'm going to grow because there's no other option. You're just not, or it's going to be hard to stay connected like that. And to watch other people transform is so inspiring. And I think that's where the motivation is. And you just, it makes everything possible. And it just, it makes life beautiful. Like it just, you can, it just, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. Very
It
high
is, man.
vibrational. I mean,
Hell yeah.
and introduce me to great people. I mean, I mean, for you and I love the things that you share, and it's just, it's great. Like you said, like you can learn from people who are higher up than you, and I think that's my favorite part because learning
Cool.
is just my
Yeah.
motivation.
I can tell you're high. You're just like me. You're just like a learner. Like some people, I feel like
Yes.
they say it and they don't do it, and I can tell that you do it. So I'm really pleased at that, man. The same with me.
Thank
By the way,
you.
I was gonna ask you. This might be a bit of a sidebar question. Do you do urine therapy?
No,
I
I
just
do
thought.
not. I have not.
Okay.
I've read and I've met tons of people who do that, but I have no, I have not. But it's a very interesting topic to me. Like that's very
Mm.
interesting to me. And I've seen some people thrive and I've had other people talk to me about it a lot and it's motivational to me. But I'm very also, I need to educate myself more on this. I watch a
Cool.
lot of your videos about it.
It's a journey, and you'll get to it eventually. You'll get to it eventually. Okay, I've got
I
another random
believe that.
question. So if you
Yes.
had to give someone three bits of advice struggling right now because of COVID, or they're a light worker or they're not, and they just want help, advice on they're going through tough times, they're either depressed, physically unhealthy, and you would only give them three bits of advice. What was your three best bits of advice to them? Would they be?
I would say that staying present is very helpful. It eliminates a lot of the anxiety and just taking each moment day by day and not kind of take the day and maybe shrink it down a little bit and just try and push yourself slowly in each moment. So it's more of a steady movement. And just know that life is perfect and it always will work out in the way that it's meant to. So it's just best to have a great perspective on it, and or you're going to just miss the beauty that's also around. Like you're just going to miss the beauty if you're focused on a lot of the negativity and a lot diet. I would say kind of if you're
Number
not
two's
feeling too
diet.
healthy, yeah,
Number
if you're
two's
not
diet.
feeling too good,
Yeah.
just maybe pay attention to what you're putting in your body because
Mm.
food influences your mood way more than what we are taught or what people have any idea about. And I would say a lot of that too. And daily breath work, breathing.
Oh, I like that one. Breath work at the
Yes.
end. That's really powerful.
Yes.
What breath works have you messed about with and experienced? Just out of interest.
It's still definitely a very new topic to me. I try to do it every day when I rise. It's kind of mostly with sitting with my energy, and I kind of try and do very deep. I kind of try to breathe in very deeply and see where I might be feeling pain, and I kind of just embrace that. Or I kind of, a lot of it with me is a lot of ideas and thoughts. My mind kind of runs wild, so it's a lot of working with to quiet that.
Mm. So kind of like a meditation breath work, like really
Mhm.
silence the monkey chatter mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's powerful.
that monkey mind gets me every time.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
terrible. By the way,
it is.
I'm really getting into music this year. It's been a long time coming for me. Do you
Mhm.
play any musical instruments, and what do you think about music? And do you think it's powerful?
I love music. I love music. I think sound is, I mean, everything has sound. So it's like, it's just something that I think everyone should dive into. I recently, over the summer, I almost got a ukulele, but instead I got a kalimba. So it's funny
Kalimba,
that I
cool.
saw that yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot and it helps me. It's just a tool that I enjoy doing. It connects me to my inner child and it keeps me very
Mm,
present. And so I just, in the healing, I just think that it is powerful to connect to sound and to have the power to create sound is just a feeling that
yeah,
it's hard to
it's powerful.
express. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it just feels good, like that you're like
think
over
there
here
because
making some kind of music.
you're making me think because I've started ukulele 7 days ago and I'm literally obsessed and like it's healing my brain and I didn't realize this. I was
Mhm.
doing it, I guess, more from
There we go. Okay.
there for a second. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I was doing it, if I'm
You're
being
fine.
honest, more of like an
Mhm.
ego place, and maybe there's still part of me because I'm a human being in duality. Like I want to get really good at it and master it, but then what I didn't realize was it's actually healing my brain and making me more present to the moment. And you just said something interesting there. I'm trying to figure out logically why. Maybe one of the reasons why, definitely one of the reasons why, is that it's making you present to the moment. The sounds make you more present, and the present moment heals you. That could be one of the reasons, like why the playing the ukulele as a beginner is really helping shift my consciousness level. Because what I'm doing is I'm doing everything the same. I'm doing the same protocols, the same diet, the same urine therapy. I'm not doing much different. Yeah, so I'm not doing much different in the day, but I definitely think that what you said is powerful there. I needed to receive that message from you. Like, presence in the moment with these instruments is huge. And also, I think, like, being a beginner, that's something, and you said something as well, creative. I thought that too. Just the aspect is going off. Sorry. So, yeah, just the
It's
aspect of being a
okay.
kid, the aspect of being a kid and creating stuff really does, it's something about it. Also, I think with the ukulele, the fingers, we need the reflexology points, like in the hands, you said,
Okay.
so like the fingers are like the brain. So when you pluck with the right hand and you got the left hand, I think there's something to do with that too. That's really helping heal my brain. But anyway, the point of the story is like
I've
all instruments are like amazing, and I can't believe that I've spent 32 years of my life not doing. I did them as a kid. I was forced to do them, but now I can't believe I've only just picked up this thing that could have healed my brain. Really took my level of consciousness to a much quicker level if I'd only learn about it or committed to it. But I'm happy that I'm at the stage now where, because I feel like I'm behind most of the people in the community watching this, and you are like, you get into it very quickly. And I took ages. I was like, oh, this music instrument things, I don't have time for that. I would do my urine therapy. I got to do other stuff. But actually, I was wrong. It's healing my brain. It's so powerful to be a creator. I think it's powerful to receive music passively. Don't get me wrong, our favorite songs. But I think more powerful, I've been thinking this, more powerful than our favorite song is actually to create music. To be a beginner, an instrument is more powerful healing, in my opinion, than even to listen to your favorite songs. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what I feel like.
No, no, listen. Yeah, no, I feel like because you're listening and you're also creating at the same time. And I like that you said about with your fingers and that it's like working in your brain and healing your mind. Like I believe that fully. I don't understand it, but I
Yeah,
believe that fully and that it is definitely doing things like that completely. Oh, that actually got me
yeah.
excited. I'll probably start playing my kalimba after this video.
It's absolutely cool. I struggle to get motivated sometimes, but when I do, I just watch loads of YouTubes. You see me put up pictures of like videos of like amazing people. I'm like, oh, okay. So I've got this far to do, and like, here's my inspiration. Maybe in 20 years, if I carry on doing 5 minutes every day, I can become like them. Because that's the thing. With these instruments, if you do 5 minutes a day, this makes more sense than doing like 2 hours once a week. Because it's about consistency. It's the same with what you talked about with diet changes, with breath work, with meditation, all the stuff we do. It's like literally we need to get more consistent and do like 2 minutes a day and be proud of that than, oh, I just do it on a Sunday for like 10 hours. That doesn't really change you. Right?
hmm Yeah, yes, I believe that. Yeah, completely. Because I think also, like, yeah, you could exhaust yourself, and then a lot of times people, yeah, will do it too hard and exhaust themselves, and then it's hard to get back into it because you kind of got sick of it for a second. Whereas consistency and taking 2 minutes or 5 minutes a day kind of builds into like something stronger. Yeah, it's just easier to do it in a slower manner where you're taking your time and it's comfortable. I agree with that.
Exactly. Do you do any exercise? And if you do, which exercises do you do?
Yes, I'm really into yin yoga right now. That's kind
Cool.
of so I do that daily just to kind of I feel it stretches my body so well, and I kind of feel high afterwards every single time. I feel that we hold a lot of our emotions in our physical being, and I think it's important and it's our responsibility to face that head on. Or so I stretch. I believe in stretching every single day because I think as we get
Right.
older, we just kind of shrivel up and it's just like, no, don't want to do that. And so because of that,
Yeah.
I feel, yeah, I feel that I'm still like, I still feel very young and I feel good. And I would always have such like shoulder pains and back pains. And so I think a lot of that is where me wanting to do yoga stemmed from, was the pain that I was experiencing. But other than that,
Yeah.
I just do a lot of that. I do a lot of walking,
Walking's cool.
dancing in my free time because I think it's also great to move the body and it just feels good. And it's another thing that
Yeah.
connects me to my inner child. Like I just feel
Oh,
movement is
I love the
amazing.
dancing. I feel like girls do it better than guys. If I'm just going to stereotype there, you're more free and present at the moment. But I think for both, I'm starting to understand that too with the music. Even though I'm not done the dancing, I'm starting to get it slowly. That music's powerful, and so is dancing, man. I knew the community's been telling me for years. Like I've been watching the post, everyone's like dancing's so powerful. But now I'm understanding. Like actually, yeah. Do you know what? Being free and dancing silly or just dancing good, I don't really care what style, is like going to be really healing. This is healing medicine,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it reminds me of, yeah, it's like, it kind of reminds me like a very feminine thing. Yeah, a very flowing thing. So it's funny that you say that about the women. So oh my gosh, it's great. I suggest people do that too. Even if just by yourself, turn some music on and just feel it out, like what your body wants to do and let it move and you'll just feel great afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we get inspiration for the divine feminine. Definitely tap into more of that. So yeah, man.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
before we go, we
Mhm.
know we covered a lot of topics, but is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to get across to people as a last
Um,
message?
I don't think there's anything that you haven't really asked me, but if you don't mind, could you
Mhm.
touch a little bit about sun gazing? Because that is very interesting to me, and I think that everyone can hear more about that.
Sure. So I've been stargazing for 2.5 years, and the reason why is because people on Facebook told me about it, and I was like, I was so open-minded, and I tried it for myself and got a load of experience. Actually, when I did it, started with the midday sun gazing. People told me that was
Mhm.
possible. I didn't even start at a sunrise sunset. I started straight from the middle of the sun in the UK in the summer, and yeah, that changed my consciousness at a ridiculous level because I wasn't looking at the sun and I started looking at the sun. The first thing I noticed was my breath slowed down and
Mhm.
my brain started to become more energetic. I started to get more energy. And then as soon as my breath slowed down, from the first second I did sun gazing, I was like, oh, this is legit. I'm going to do more of this. And then I got obsessed with sun gazing. And I started,
Oh,
because I've got a good body feel. I'm really, what's the word for it? I'm really upset. My one obsession is I'm good at state control and managing my state control, how I feel inside my body. So with the sun gazing, I was always figuring out, okay, so it seems to make my sleep better. Why is that? I'll go and research the science. Oh, right. If I get loads of sunlight lux into my eyes in the daytime, that's going to give me the deeper sleeps. Cool. That improves my sleep. When my sleep improves, I get more healthy during the day. Awesome. And then I started geeking out, man. Like, it rebalances your brain hemispheres. I'm sure you understand that, like, we've all got this brain hemisphere imbalance, man, from the matrix, too much left brain, too much studying and bullshit. There's an imbalance there. And if it wasn't, we'd all be doing yoga perfectly, like, I don't know, BS Iyengar, and we're not, because no one's balanced completely. So, but the sun gazing really does help you because the eyes are linked into the brain. It's like it's an extension of the brain. So any sun gazing you do just goes straight into the brain. It makes your brain more coherent. I wonder when I was depressed, if you're depressed, recommend sun gazing. If you're not, I recommend it too. But it really does make that brain really coherent because the alpha brainwaves, it's got theta brainwaves in it. Depending on what time you do, you've got different chakra colors in the sun that go into your eyes. So like the sunrise, sunset, it's the red light goes into you. It decalcifies your pineal. Then it makes your pineal bigger. So that's huge because the whole conspiracy is imbalance the brain and also, to calcify the pineal and make it smaller, atrophy it. And that's huge. And that's, I think, the main reason, if I'm being honest, why sun gazing, they tell you not to look at the sun because they don't want you to make a bigger pineal gland decalcify. They just
yeah,
don't. They don't want you to balance your brain. They've no. Same with urine therapy. They don't want you to balance. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I've got in my mind, I've literally got 1,000,001 amazing reasons. That's why I had to write it in books because I can talk forever on an interview. I'm going to write in my book. In my book, I can just like geek out and write whatever I want, and no one tells me, oh, you can't do that because I can write what I want. Thank you very much. But yeah, it just depends on the person, and I love talking about them because I never know what benefit of sun gazing is going to hit home with somebody because I realize not everyone's the same. For me, one benefit might be interesting to another person, it might not be. But it's one of those things that, oh man, if you're into physical health, you're into emotional health, you're into spiritual health, if you want to become more confident and fearless for guys, holy shit, man, like to be access to divine masculine and feminine, you got a sun gaze, man. Like, and it goes deeper with it because say you live in the UK like me and there's no sun, then you've got the clouds. Well, guess what? This is huge. People make excuses, right? And they say, okay, there's no sun. Well, look at the clouds, because I'll tell you what, cloud gazing is really powerful. It's really powerful. People have no idea. You just look up to the sky when it's cloudy and go for 10, 20 seconds, come back down. Do this experiment. 20 seconds, look at the sky, right up there, down, and tell me you don't feel different. Tell me you're not high for that 20 seconds. Then you'll know that cloud gazing, because the light comes from above and it penetrates through the clouds. So even cloud gazing is powerful. There's so many things that we don't know and I've had to figure out from other people and just transfer knowledge onto other people. Like, there's no excuses is what I'm saying. Yeah, they make chemtrails. Yeah, they stop the sun sometimes. But yeah, life is magical, man. When you get into the sun, and it's the life, man. Without the sun, we are nothing. We don't even
Yep.
exist, right?
Yeah, it's the life force. Yeah, exactly. Oh my, and this, yeah, like I see, I need to start. I need to do more of the cloud gazing. Cloud gazing. I think that would just be very beneficial. Because I think
Mm,
a lot of it, I knew about it, and then over the summer, watched a lot of your videos, and so I took the sunglasses off, and I started noticing like my sleep got better, my mood was
yeah,
better. I was actually tired at the times that I should be tired, and I
right.
don't know, but I also felt I would burn easily sometimes. And then when I stopped wearing the sunglasses, it's almost like the light was filtering in my eyes and telling my brain,
Yeah,
hey, like you're in the sun right now. Like you need to have some kind of protection on your skin. So like I don't burn
right.
anymore. And so I was like,
Oh,
whoa, that's I think what really blew my mind was one of those. It's very
that's
physical.
huge. That's huge what you just said there. So you're a live example of something that I knew logically. Yeah, I've heard that before, that you will burn, your skin will burn if you wear sunglasses. And of course, when you let the eyes into your light, your sun will tell your body to produce the melatonin. Like even the sunrise sun, the red light therapy from sun protects you from the midday sun at summer when it's really burning. So what some people make the mistake of is they don't get up at sunrise, they don't get enough of the early morning sun, therefore they're going to burn in the midday sun and blame the sun and cause cancer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a huge topic. And by the way, one huge thing, like you said, is the sunglasses. The other one is the sun cream. Like, holy God, man. Like, I'm sure I've done it as a youngster. My parents did it to me. Like, Jesus, those two things are killing people right now. Sunglasses and sun cream. Get rid of them, man. I know they look cool, but Jesus.
It's not worth it at the long run. Not worth it at all.
No. It's really not, man. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. But I want to give you the chance too to tell us, for people watching that are interested in your stuff, like what channels you're on, and with the superfoods and stuff, like how people find you.
Okay, I kind of use a lot of my social media platforms for my spiritual purpose and for my superfoods business. So I would say a lot connect with me through Instagram or on Facebook. I'm very active. It's where I like to feel. I'm more on Facebook because I feel it's more of a community, whereas Instagram feels almost like an audience. So I'm always on Facebook a lot, but you can reach me on both.
I dig that. I'm with you, by the way. I exploded on, I built my communities up on Facebook, and I feel like and I'm trying to build my Instagram too, but I just feel like there's a disconnect between my Instagram following is not close to me. I can't verbalize the words. I can't connect with them on a deep level. And the Facebook, I just feel such a powerful connection. I actually get a little bit triggered when people say, Facebook, it's a shit medium, it's a waste of time, and there's people gossiping. I'm like, no, bro, like, no, that's changed my life, man. Use it properly, man. Use it properly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so much more loving, and you can really speak on it, and it's I'm more in favor of Facebook. It's where my spiritual community lives. I don't. I actually do not. I do not. But I think about just expanding on that. But one step at a time. You should work on it. You should work on it. There's a couple of the Purium lot that you guys are amazing, but I notice a lot of the Purium lot don't really work the YouTube, and I find it's really powerful to work the YouTube because there's another audience on there. You can really transform lives, and it would help the business and all the stuff you're doing, getting the work out there. So that's one I'll keep on here if you like. I'll keep you motivated on. Yeah, man. I'll have to check that out, most definitely.
Yeah, man.
The more people I can reach, the better. Of course.
Yeah.
No, thank you for having me.
It's been amazing, Whit. Like, you're a really amazing person. I love your energy. I love what you're doing, and I want to connect with you more in the future. And let's see where our futures lie. And I'm sure you're going to be. I know already you're going to be a powerful person that's going to have a lot of influence in people's lives. So yeah, your really energy is real good, man. And do you know what I like the most? I like people that like me that support, like try and do this unconditional thing. It's not easy because we do judge, I guess, but if we try and support people unconditionally and respect each other's journeys, then you do that. So the massive respect for you for that, man. I love it.
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it, and thank you for having me and just being you and sharing everything, because you inspire me and motivate me daily. Honestly.
That's all right. Thanks, guys. Whitney Gibbons with Listening of Harry, and thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
Bye, man. Bye.